Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
Peace. Thank you for watching the show and stay.
Wrong audio. I just wanted to put a little Southern guy flavor in there. So the title is Enemy Combatant, Khalil Amani, fear speaking about drug muling and robbing, exposed. So my actions speak louder than my words. Though my words weren't perfect, I don't never want to do nothing perfect. If I do it perfect, then that means I have no room to get better. And on YouTube, you make a video and you do another video and another one and you grow. It's all about growth and development. So I'm growing and developing the conversation. Been doing it for a while. So enemy combatant, that's the key term. And I want to deal with that terminology because it's significant, very significant to this whole conversation.
An enemy combatant is an individual, often non-state actors or terrorists, who engages in or supports hostilities against the United States, distinguished from conventional armed forces. Used extensively after 9/11, this status allows the U.S. government to detain individuals.
To detain individuals. That's why he said he want ICE to come after me, because he said I busting a citizen. Was I right when saying he wants a citizen? Using this terminology, and you can see where my mind went. He's an enemy combatant because he's into sex trafficking children. He works for the Universal Zulu Nation. Africa Bambaataa, DJ K. Slay, all these people traffic children. I found it out, and he's been my combatant ever since. He didn't turn enemy of the state. Donald Trump said he don't want sex trafficking and all this stuff that people have been doing to go on. That's why he said you went and voted for Donald Trump. And you, excuse my French, you damn right I voted for Donald Trump. And ain't afraid to say it. Because Donald Trump is against the sex trafficking stuff. But he called Donald Trump a pedophile and said this man ain't never been around Donald Trump penis to know what he's been doing or not doing. But he slandered even the president because he think his ties with the Muslim Brotherhood is going to protect him being on U.S. soil. He's an enemy combatant, people.
Including citizens, indefinitely, often without prisoner of war, POW, protections or standard trial rights. Key aspects of enemy combatants: lawful versus unlawful.
Lawful versus unlawful. He's been an unlawful man all his life. He was a drug mule and a robber before he told on Yahweh ben Yahweh. He won't admit it. If he said he admitted it, show it. Prove to me, because I'm talking to you and you talking about canola news and all this other stuff, but you ain't said one thing about that drug muling and robbery that you committed before you went told on Yahweh ben Yahweh. I told you leave me alone a long time ago. You can't do me like you did her son. Man, I'll drag you all through these streets and your pissy wife. Because I notice you keep talking about my pissy bed, but your big, fat, no good pissy wife.
Combatants are members of regular armed forces of a state party, adhering to laws of war. Unlawful enemy combatants are individuals who...
And if you don't know, we in a war. We've been in a war. When they took that presidency and put Joe Biden up there, then tried to switch Joe out for Camilla and everything else. They've been going at Donald Trump. If you don't think Donald Trump think he in a war, then I don't know what's the matter with America. And I don't get into the politics like that. I deal with deals with me. But we've been at war. That's why he's an enemy combatant. I've been at war ever since I found out that they've been trafficking them children and won't nobody in hip hop do nothing about it. Because half of hip hop has been touching on the children. They in them Bambaataa files.
Without legal authorization, support, or directly engage in acts of war against the U.S. Legal status. The term gained prominence under the George W. Bush administration and was further defined by the Military Commissions Act of 2006 to include individuals determined to be such by a Combatant Status Review Tribunal, CSRT. Detention and rights. Unlawful enemy combatants do not qualify for POW status under the Geneva Conventions. They may be tried by military commissions rather than civilian courts, often facing indefinite detention.
Now, I'm a civilian. Civilian court, because the Constitution give us rights to get us a, what's the terminology? When you get deputized and all that stuff, it gives us the right to defend ourselves and all that stuff.
Controversy. The classification has been heavily criticized by human rights advocates for enabling indefinite detention without due process and potentially violating international law. While the Obama administration officially stopped using the term unlawful enemy combatant, the U.S. government has maintained its authority to detain individuals who provide substantial support to enemy forces. Note Springer Nature.
So, have Khalil been providing forces and stuff for the enemy? For 9 years now, he's been working with Hip Hop Stands with Survivors, Layla Wheels, Hip Hop Stands with Survivors against me. Like I said, I was sitting on my sister's couch with the COVID, and he started attacking me. And as my Machiavelli video stated, I never thought he was any higher than me in anything. Education don't make you higher than me because you went through the system and learned how to kiss tail to get grades and learn stuff like a rat to get grades and stuff. That's never been my thing. I've always been a person that thinks outside of the box. I've never been to this world. But let me let y'all hear. I'm going to let y'all hear this. This is what made him mad. He started calling the computer a bitch and everything because he wanted to call me one, but he know I'm not one.
What if the key witness in a major case wasn't even a citizen and admitted to being a criminal? Today, we're talking about one of the most controversial figures in modern religious history, Yahweh ben Yahweh. The testimony that helped bring him down came from Khalil Amani, aka Lloyd Rodney Clark, a complex individual.
A complex individual. A criminal, is it considered a citizen? It is locked away in a prison somewhere and treated like a slave, especially a black prisoner. But he want to get into semantics and stuff. That's why I told her, excuse me, his feminine queer is the term I'm using. His queer self to take me to jail or take me to court. He won't take me to court though.
At the time he provided information, he was not a citizen and admitted to serious criminal activity.
So the question becomes, why would authorities rely so heavily on someone with that kind of background? Was this about truth or about building a case by any means necessary? How reliable is testimony coming from someone who may have had every incentive to cooperate for their own benefit? Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this justice or was this manipulation of the system?
So, and we know hip hop stand with survivors love to manipulate the system. They manipulated the system in Chicago. They manipulate the system in New York. Lena Wilson did all this with her Child USA friend Marcy Hamilton. It is what it is. It is what it is, people. They love to manipulate the system. Layla Wills, an ex-Black Panther, tried to manipulate the Illinois system. She tried to get me locked up falsely by saying I was on the internet with guns. If she would have got me locked up, they would have tried to murder me in Cook County, O Block, Black Panthers, and Nation of Islam people, because that's who she affiliates with. In the Nation of Islam, New Bambaataa was molesting children and doing all that stuff, because when he got stabbed by that young Mexican boy that night, the Nation of Islam was in that hospital. They found out what happened and they ran, because this is bigger than Jeffrey Epstein in the Black community. Bigger than Jeffrey Epstein. It takes you all the way back to Malachi Z. York, Atlanta, full of queers. Hip hop is down now. As her son say, Bam slept with Mos Def and Q-Tip. How much has Q-Tip influenced Atlanta rappers? The duo that said the South got something to say. I ain't got nothing else to say. The South finna shut his mouth for a sec. But y'all punting on them things. Enemy combatant. Until you deal with this, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You can talk about canola news all you want. You can attack his daughter like Leak you do. You can attack his wife. You can do all that stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Canola News is a man. He didn't want to stand with me. He can join y'all and try to fight against me. I don't care what nobody do at this point, because I'm winning until I lose. Until you can make me lose, I don't have to do nothing. I've been won. All I got to do is wait for the Lord to show me my victory. Now, the queen is in the side chat, but me and the queen, we wouldn't have the last time we did a show. So you need to stop talking about her too. As I like to tell people, I don't look back. I look forward. I don't stare through my rear view, because I ain't afraid of nobody that's coming after me. In these YouTube streets, in these main streets or whatever, I ain't scared of nothing or nobody. I'm in Parkin, Arkansas. You come here, it ain't big enough for me to hide here. You can find me, but hey, I am not running from nothing. I'm going to protect myself at all times. You know why? Because I know I'm $1 million baby. And with that said, peace. Y'all have a good day.